get started in 2019 when I run cameras on this piece of public land in southern Ohio. Start out running cameras in June, ended up finding this really nice 8-point, this really nice 10-point in velvet. Get pictures of them all through the month of August. September rolls around, 10-point disappears. Still had the 8-point, so I continued to hunt the soybean field. Ended up not killing a deer in 2019. 2020 rolls around, run cameras in June again, and I pick up this absolute giant triple drop tine, large frame. So I make my main focus on that deer. Had pictures of him all through June, July, August, even into September when he hard horns. Hunted him hard for the first 2 weeks of the season, and then I got the news that they were selling the property for residential use. Ended up building 2 houses on it, so it forced me to move. I ended up having a piece of private land, so I moved to it. Ended up harvesting a decent buck in 2020. So fast forward to 2020 shed season. Me and my little brother ended up going about a mile down the road from this soybean field and scouting the bordering public property. Ended up finding the shed to that 10-point in 2020, and then told my little brother that we was going to run cameras in there and find this deer. So June rolls around, I start running cameras in there on both sides of this public track. I ended up picking a giant mainframe 9-pointer up, really wide. I told my little brother, I was like, I'm going to hunt that deer. If we can pick that 10-point up, you can hunt him. Well, we ended up picking the 10-point up in about mid-June. Carried on to about mid-July, and he disappeared a little bit, so we moved cameras around a little bit, got on the other side of this big ridge. Ended up picking him up again, and I was just getting picture after picture after picture of this deer almost every single day. 10:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon. I knew I was close to his bedroom. There's a bunch of honeysuckle around, and then there was hedge apples. Well, this deer was transitioning from his bedding, coming out through this old oil rig trail, and then coming into the hedge apples and feeding for the night. So opening day, my little brother decided he was going to hunt that 10-point, and I was going to go over and hunt the big mainframe 9. He texted me at about 6:30 in the evening, says the big 10-point just came behind him at about 20 yards, but he couldn't get a shot because it was too thick. He had no shot opportunities. So we played it off, went back out the next day, didn't see him. Nothing on camera for about a week, and then he started showing back up again. A little later in the evenings, between 6:30, 7:30, and then he showed up one night. There was an autumn olive tree in front of my Tacticam, and he showed up and just started eating on that autumn olive, and I got 10 30-second videos of that deer standing there 10 feet from the camera just showing off everything. And at that point I told my little brother, I was like, we're going to kill this deer. So the 9-point ended up, he quit showing up for about 3 weeks. So the little brother decided he was going to go golfing, and I asked him if I could sit in that tree stand. He said, yeah, go ahead. Went over, got in the tree stand about 4:15, 4:20 in the evening on October 9th. Sat around for a while, just nothing was moving. It was hot, it was 74 degrees. Then I heard a twig snap at about 6:45, and that deer actually was coming in behind me, directly downwind, coming through eating that honeysuckle on his way through. He got behind me about 5 minutes facing me at 30 yards eating on this honeysuckle, and I had a gap about the size of a beach ball. I told myself, I was like, he hits that gap, I'm going to try to take the shot. He ended up hitting that gap, turned broadside, slight quartering to, I ranged it at 26 yards. I held it right on his heart and ended up sticking him about 4 inches high. It's still double lung. So he ran about 30-31 yards and ended up crashing. I really wanted to get it on film, but the scenario I was in was not a good opportunity for a camera. It was real tight quarters. You couldn't see more than 25-30 yards in either direction. I was literally in the heart of the thick, nasty briars, and I was pretty much in his bedroom. So that's why we're doing this interview now, is trying to replay the scenario of what happened. So after getting back to the vehicle, I started calling people, trying to get some people to help me. Ended up 2 guys pulled in and offered to help me. We ended up going in the woods, getting the deer dragged out, got him loaded up, got him home, ended up telling the story to all my friends, family. They were all excited. I was super excited.